Today you're in for a really big treat. Johnny Jones and friends are here to sing Civil War campfire songs. So a lot of them you may know, so sing along. Without further ado, Johnny Jones and friends.
Tricky playing this sound system stuff, but anyway, thank you all. It's always good to be here. Really appreciate these friends of mine that always come to my rescue when I commit to things like this. Every time I go, why do I do this every year? And I always have to pull in a crowd. So I won't forget, I'll go ahead and introduce the good group up here with me. And down at the far left down there, and he is far left, and I hate to say it, but so I can't do any body jokes just because of him. Anyway, that's Kenny Tomko. And Kenny kind of came with this idea. He kept talking about a song that a guy named John Hartford sang. And I said, well, you know, if we did that song, maybe we just do campfire songs. And I'm going to throw a wrench in this at the end that hopefully you won't mind us doing. But anyway, Kenny Tomko sings harmonies, and he's quite a historian and environmental engineer that's retired from the plant. But I think he still goes over there and makes sure they sing. Because I used to find these three-headed sturgeon on the banks, and I'd call Kenny and say, Kenny, what's going on with these sturgeon? Anyway, that's Kenny Tomko. Next to him is somebody I always have to sing with me when I sing if I can, and that's Tori Anderson. Used to be a Hazel Grove, so I did say it right for once. But Tori's got a fantastic voice and is always willing to help me because she's out of school because she teaches, so it's good to catch her when I can get her. So. And then all the way up from South Carolina, but he grew up here in Hopewell, Michael Brown to my left. And Michael is just one of those dear friends. And when I call him, I always wonder, you sure you want to come up here from South Carolina and play along with us? So we kind of catch up. You've probably heard us playing some of our old stuff, just goofing around here today. But Michael's a Presbyterian preacher down in South Carolina now. And we have two Presbyterian preachers up here that are, one's retired. But anyway, so Michael's down there now. But again, him and his family grew over in town. And just a long-time wonderful friend. To my right here on the banjo and whatever he wants to pick up. I just like to play whatever he feels like playing, but Mike McCoy and I met each other years ago and played a lot. And so now we play about once a year, like something like this, but he always adds to what we do. He lives out in Dinwiddie, and I see his wife shooting some grandchildren. Look just like their dad, too. It's a good thing. And I got a retired pastor who's probably going to give us a 30-minute sermon here in a minute. Harry Long comes down. He was at Sycamore Press for a long time. But, when you're, he's almost become like a brother. He filled into our church.
Almost.
Anyway, Harry's here just to kind of join us and bang around with whatever he wants to bang around. They want somebody named Norma Burchett come to the register. Anyway, just an announcement. Anyway, and very far in on the right, I probably wouldn't be up here today if it hadn't been for this guy, because I first started playing the guitar with Richard Moore down there, Dick Moore. I had a little group, and he let me come in and start playing with those guys. And so over the years, we collaborate on things like this. And I think Dick's doing the music now that I'm West Hopewell Presbyterian. So it's great to have Dick. And I hope later he'll play a jaw harp, so which I guess is eventually, if he doesn't knock his teeth out or something. But anyway, in the very back behind him is somebody that helps me get the sound system going. We play at church all the time. Woody Hazelgrove plays the bass, and actually has a great singing voice, but I got a bunch of them, so you won't hear that today. Anyway, and I'm Johnny Jones. Put this together. 2 years ago, I just will say this. 2 years ago, I found out I had a tumor on my kidney. And so I had a kidney removed, and I had the program, and I decided instead of singing this time, we would just show bird pictures. So I'll never forget, my wife said, "You're crazy." I said, "No, I can sit there on a stool after this surgery and do my bird pictures." So I'm really glad to be here 2 years later and still be able to play music with my friends. We played last year, but so I'm going on 2 years of hanging in there. Anyway, we're going to try to start off with something you probably would have heard around the, as you'll find out, I'm kind of a big Stephen Foster fan, and so we're doing things that you might have heard around the campfire, and maybe you didn't hear in the campfire. And Mike, someone will tell you a little bit of history on this stuff. So we'll start off with this one.
Louisiana, my true love for to see. It rained all night the day I left, weather was bone dry. The sun so hot, I drove to death, Susanna, don't you cry. Oh, Susanna, don't you cry for me. I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. I had a dream the other night when everything was still. I thought I saw Susanna, she was coming down the hill. A weak cake was in her mouth, tears were in her eyes. I kissed her on the forehead and I bid my love goodbye. Oh, Susanna, don't you cry for me. I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. Oh, Susanna, don't you cry for me. I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee.
All right, for those in the back, can you hear okay? Everything good? Okay. This is one we'll get Tori to do.
We're tenting tonight on the old campground. Give us a song to cheer our weary hearts, a song of home and friends we love so dear. Many are the hearts that are weary tonight, wishing for the war to cease. Many are the hearts that are looking for the right to see the dawn of peace. Tempting tonight, tempting tonight, tempting on the old campground. We've been tempting tonight on the old campground, thinking of days gone by, of the loved ones at home that gave us the pen and tears that said goodbye. Many are the hearts that are weary tonight, wishing for the war to cease. Many are the hearts that are looking for the right to see the dawn of peace. Tempting tonight, tempting tonight, tempting on the old campground. We've been fighting tonight on the old campground. Many are lying here. Some are dead and some dying. Many are in tears. Many are the hearts that are weary tonight, wishing for the war to cease. Many are the hearts that are looking for the right to see the dawn of peace. Tempting tonight, tempting tonight, tempting on the old campground. Tempting tonight,
tempting tonight, tempting all the old and proud.
This next one is the one that inspired Kenny to get me going on this. So.
Oh, the years creep slowly by, Lorena. The snow is on the ground again. The sun's low down the sky, Lorena. The frost gleams where the flowers have been. But the heart beats on as warmly now as when the summer days were nigh. Oh, the sun can never dip so low to be down in affection's cloudless sky. Have passed, Lorena, since last I held that hand in mine and felt the pulse beat fast, Lorena, though mine beat faster far than thine. 100 months this flowering day, when up that hilly slope we climb to watch the dying of the day and hear the distant church bells chime. We loved each other then, Lorena, far more than we ever dared to tell. And what we might have been, Lorena, had our loving prospered well. Then 'tis past the years roll on, I'll not call up their shadowy forms. I'll say to them, lost years sleep long, sleep on, nor heed life's melting storm.
I'd like to have Mike give you a little history on that song. So, Mike, you want to share that?
That song? Right now? Yeah, that song, the singer, no offense, Mike, I think the words are way out. Focused. The guy needs to get a life. He's waited for that girl way too long. 100 winners, that's just too much. He needs to get on with his life. That was a very popular song before the Civil War and during the Civil War, so people knew the song and it was quite popular about longing for a lost girlfriend. And it is told, now stories can be true or not, but I have heard that the generals on both sides really hated that song. They despised that song because at the very least, it would make the soldiers so forlorn it just took the fight out of them. And generals don't like the fight out of their soldiers. At the very worst, it made them run away and go home. And so that's not good. So a lot of times the generals would say, shoot the fiddler. I don't want to hear that song.
That's why I brought a gun today.
I don't want to hear that song.
All right, he's going to do another classic. I call them classics. And we're talking about them a little bit. So,
Oh, Soldier's Joy. Yeah, Soldier's Joy. That's a very old song. Comes from across the waters, way before our country, and so it was played for different armies. And so it just depends on which war you're talking about, what Soldier's Joy means. I'll just tell you about two wars. World War II, Soldier's Joy meant payday. That seems obvious. Soldiers enjoy payday, so that was a joyful time. In the Civil War, it had a much different meaning. Soldier's Joy was actually given a name given to a concoction that, there's a lot of suffering in the Civil War. Medical things the way they were. So it was there's a lot of pain going on. And so after the Civil War, a lot of them suffered a lot with pain. And this was a concoction. The name Soldier's Joy was given the name to the concoction that's made up of beer, whiskey, and morphine. So, that was what they call Soldier's Joy.
today they call it fentanyl. So. All right, Mike's going to play that one for you. This next song, some of y'all want to step out of the room, you can go out. Yes, we'll rally round the flag, boys, we'll rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. We will rally round the hillside, we'll gather from the plain, shouting the battle cry of freedom. The Union forever, hurrah, boys, hurrah! Down with the traitor and up with the star. When we rally round the flag, boys, we'll rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. We are springing to the call of our brothers gone before, shouting
battle cry of freedom, and fulfill the vacant ranks with a million freemen born, shouting the battle cry of freedom. The Union forever, hurrah, boys, hurrah! Down with the traitor and up with the star, while we rally round the flag, boys, we'll rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. Shouting the battle cry of freedom, and although we may be poor, he shall never be a slave. Shouting the battle cry of freedom, the Union forever, hurrah, boys, hurrah! Down with the traitor and up with the star, while we rally round the flag, boys, we'll rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom.
So we're springing to the call from the east and from the west,
Shouting the battle cry of freedom,
and we'll hurl the rebel crew from the land we know the best.
shouting the battle cry of freedom. The Union forever, hurrah, boys, hurrah! Down with the traitor and up with the star, while we rally round the flag, boys, we'll rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom.
Really great tomatoes done that. Actually, the Confederates had a similar song, just different words, and used the same tune. So we did we're trying to be polite. All right, we're going to jump
Thank you for not
over.
mentioning, Johnny, that my great-grandfather was a Union and this is a
But Dick, we forgave you for that one. Actually, Dick's grandpa got shot and wounded here in Petersburg.
got
Right?
shot in Petersburg and was taken care of at Appomattox Manor. Right in the hospital. I came here when I was 7, so I'm a Southern boy at heart. Does that count?
So if you noticed, I've kind of had this favoritism towards some of Stephen Foster, and he was a little bit before the Civil War doing so a lot of his songs would have been sang. And this is not a train song, so I don't know why. A train song was supposed to be. Anyway, I told him not to have any trains come here today. That's just anyway, so I'm a big Stephen Foster. I just think when I think of American songwriters, he's the very first one. He just wrote some great stuff. We sung "Oh Susanna." We're gonna sing that. I think there's one other we might have it here, but this song, I think, I think he really had a good job of maybe telling the plight of the slave and what was going on these plantations. And so I think that in his own way, even though I don't know him being an abolitionist, he did bring some, I think, some notice to those kind of issues that were going on. This is one of them called Angelina Baker that turns into today a banjo tune or a fiddle tune. But, anyway. Way down on the old plantation, that's where I was born. Used to be the whole creation, holding in the morning. Then I'd work and then I'd sing, so happy all the day. Angelina Baker came and stole my heart away. Angelina Baker's gone. She left me here to weep a tear and beat on the old jawbone. Well, I've seen my Angelina in the springtime and the fall. I've seen her in the cornfield and I've seen her at the ball. Every time I've seen her, she is smiling like the sun. But now I've left a weeping tear, 'cause Angelina is gone. Angelina Baker, Angelina Baker's gone. She left me here to weep a tear and beat on the old jawbone. Angelina is so tall she never sees the ground. She has to use a well-on scope to look down on the town. Angelina likes them boys as far as she can see them. She used to run old master around to ask him for to free them. Angelina Baker, Angelina Baker's gone. She left me here to weep a tear and beat on the old jawbone. Early in the morning on a lovely summer day, ask for Angelina and they say she's gone away. Don't know where to find her, 'cause I don't know where she's gone. She left me here to weep a tear and beat on the old jawbone. Angelina Baker, Angelina Baker's gone. She left me here to weep a tear and beat on the old jawbone. Because what means to get ready to play the last run through? It's like, I don't know. Then I told him, I said, I still get these 2-week fusions every 2 weeks to kind of fight. My system helps fight cancer, whatever. But anyway, I got these. But every time they take my blood, I said, the only thing is, dude, to don't get in front of me, because every time they stick my needle in it, I jam my foot up in front of it. I don't know why I do that, but. So I thought maybe Mike thought he was getting needles stuck in it. All right, the next song we're going to do is an old one that. We did them all. Just making sure we're in the right. Okay, yeah. This next one was always a mystery to me because we used to sing a lot of these old songs in school, believe it or not. Oh, Susanna. But this song we used to sing in school when I lived in Florida for a while, even though I'm from Hopewell, but we lived in Florida. And we would sing this song, and it just stuck with me for years and years. And probably about 20 years ago, I was at a festival, and I ran across a CD with this song on it. And I didn't realize it was another Stephen Foster tune. So we're going to do this one for you. It's called the Glendy Bird. The Glendy Burke is a mighty fast boat with a mighty fast captain too. He sits up there on a hurricane deck and he keeps his eye on the crew. I can't stay here for the work's too hard. I'm bound to leave this town. I'll take my guns and tote them on my back when the Glendy Burke comes down. And it's home for Louisiana. I'm bound to leave this town. I'll take my guns and tote them on my back when the Glendy Burke comes down. Well, the Glendy Burke has a funny old crew, and they sing a boatman song. They burn the pitch and the pine knot too, as they shove the boat along. The smoke goes up and the engine roars, wheels go round and round. So very well, I'll take a little ride on the Glendy Burke comes down. And it's all for Louisiana, I'm bound to leave this town. I'll take my guns and tote them on my back when the Glendy Burke comes down. All night in the wind and the storm, I'll work all day in the rain, till I find myself on the levee dock in New Orleans again. They make me mow with the hayfield here, they knock my head with the flail. I'll go where they work with the sugar and the cane, and they roll the cotton bale. And it's home for Louisiana, I'm bound to leave this town. I'll take my guns and tote them on my back when the Glendy Burke comes down. My lady love is pretty as a pink, I meet her on the way. I'll take her back to the sunny old South, and there I'll make her stay. So don't you fret, my honey dear, don't you fret, Miss Brown. I'll take you back for the middle of the week when the Glendy Burke comes down. And it's all for Louisiana, I'm bound to leave this town. I'll take my guns and tote them on my back when the Glendy Burke comes down. And it's home for Louisiana, I'm bound to leave this town. I'll take my guns and tote them on my back when the Glendy Burke comes down. This next one's an instrumental too. It's called The Girl I Left Behind. Guess I irritated Michael, he's leaving. Please come down. Usually this would be Mike McCoy changing instruments 10 times. No. Yeah, it's called Girl I Left Behind, and Mike's gonna play for you. like this next one Tori's going to do for you. I mean, some of these songs we've done in the past when we did different things. We did a folk thing one time, and this one kind of actually goes back probably more to the Revolutionary War, maybe even, anyway, I'm sure it was probably sung during the Civil War. Probably another one the generals wouldn't have liked to hear.
Here I sit on buttermilk hill. Who can blame me? Cry my fill, and every tear would turn the mill. Johnny has gone for a soldier. Shoulda, shoulda, shoulda go. Me, oh my, I love him so. And only time will heal my world. Johnny has gone for a soldier. Sell my clock, I'll sell my ring to buy my love a sword of steel. So in battle he may win. Johnny has gone for a soldier. Shoulda, shoulda, shoulda go. Me, oh my, I love him so. And only time will heal my world. Johnny has gone for a soldier. Dye my petticoats crimson red. Through the streets I'll beg my bread till he comes back and we are wed. Johnny has gone for a soldier. Shoulda, shoulda, shoulda go. Me, oh my, I love him so. And only time will heal my world. Johnny has gone for a soldier.
So we were going to depart from our campfire songs a little bit. Years ago, Kenny down here kind of told me about a musical that done up in Lexington at the Lime Kiln Theater. It was called Stonewall Country. It was went for 25 years up there. They had a couple weekends they would do this show. And so I know I went up there at least 3 times to watch it. But a couple named Robin and Linda Williams. I heard they used to be on Prairie Home Companion a lot. But they wrote this musical basically on Stonewall Jackson's life, but they kind of pulled out different elements of it. And I'm going to let Kenny give you a little history on this next song, and then Tori's going to sing.
Sure. As Johnny said, and this is really interesting to have a play done by a Civil War general, particularly in Lexington area where VMI is. And Thomas Jonathan Jackson was there for quite a while. He was a resident there and also was a professor at VMI. And again, you may know a little bit about him. He's a very, I guess as far as history is concerned, a very ferocious fighter for who he was fighting for the United States government and also for the Confederate government at his time. But his characteristics were so embedded as far as his faith and his biblical knowledge and his duty. And so you see that side of him so much as far as the tenacity. Very eccentric man too. In middle of battle, he would sometimes raise his arms for different reasons to shake blood from one side to the other and sucking on lemons. There's all kinds of great things. In fact, the time that he was wounded at the very first battle that he was in, the Battle of Bull Run or Manassas, he was raising his hands to adjust a bloodstream and got shot in the middle finger. But anyway, he was just very, very eccentric. But also there's a side to him that was really interesting, very soft and compassionate because of his Christianity, because of his stability and wanting to be a good husband. He also wrote beautiful, beautiful and poetic love letters. He and his wife traded those back during the war. Anna was her name. And they loved each other tremendously. And so this song is about somebody's someone, and it's in the voice of his wife responding back to the many love letters that they exchanged. And there's several books out if you want to read some of the poetic side of this very, I'd say, warrior general, then you should listen to this. But this is called Somebody's Someone.
The one and only little someone of somebody's heart longs for you night and day while we're apart. Darling of darlings, I love you so. How strong my love is, nobody knows. I dream of you wherever you are. The one and only little someone of somebody's heart. Up and away, round and round, we twist and twirl as we dance, not a care in the world. My sweetest spousal, you call me your dove with tender caresses and whispers of love. You call me your own little girl. As up and away, round and round, we twist and twirl. I wanted to be somebody's someone, but I never dreamed I'd find someone like you. The one and only little someone of somebody's heart. Life's highway like a bright shining star, till the darkness dwindles till dawn, and these lonely hard days are gone. Reunited, we'll make a new start. My one and only little someone of somebody's heart. My one and only little someone of somebody's heart.
Hey, Kitty, you want to give me some food?
Oh, no. Here we go again. The next song, Johnny has mentioned.
Did you bring your heart?
I did. Johnny mentioned several
Get ready for a
times
snack.
many of his the songs that have been inspired here from Stephen Foster. There's a Stephen Foster song you may have heard called Hard Times. And so Robin and Linda Williams, when they put this musical together for the Stonewall Country, they borrowed that very heavily, Hard Times, and they called the name of the song Hard Tack. Now, a Civil War soldier, as any soldier, travels on his stomach. So the better you feed them, the better they'll fight. And the less of these Lorena songs, the better they'll stay in camp. But one of the things they did most of the time was to scavenge and find all kinds of foods. If they could find a farm or whatever, they certainly would follow the local produce. But when they were out there on their own and they needed some survival type foods, they made something called hardtack. Does anyone know what hardtack is? Some of you do, probably. But it's probably the closest to a permanent shingle you can ever get if you're trying to eat it. So it's made with flour and salt and water, and that's it. And you bake it. And you make it, and it's certainly. And I brought some here today. And if I need to put a disclaimer, you may take some of these if you want them. But if you try to eat those, do exactly like this song says. Sometimes you have to soak them for a week or crush them up with rifle butts. So they will take teeth out, and you'll hear a part of that. They will take your teeth out. So I'm going to give you these, but they say in a pack, there's, I believe, 1863, someone had saved a piece of hardtack from the Chancellorsville campaign, which was very instrumental for Stonewall Jackson. But they brought that home, and they were still edible after 1863, so it goes forever. So,
Still unedible.
it's still unedible.
Kenny, didn't you tell me that this reminded you of Pam's biscuits at home?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll have no teeth from hardtack or from her now. But I'd like to. I'm just gonna throw these out there, and I might hurt someone.
Yeah.
Don't you want to take these? Can you take these? Just pass it. So anyway, the hardtack was usually a 3-inch by 3-inch square and perforated, so it would say, but it's very, very hard. These are smaller varieties, so be careful.
All right, we're gonna hope we can pick up a juice harp on this one. I think we can get it out there. The juice harp. All right, so again, this one starts kind of like a Steve Foster familiar tune here. There's a hungry, thirsty soldier who wears his life away with torn clothes whose better days are o'er. He is singing out for whiskey with a throat as dry as hay. He sings hard crackers, come again no more. The meat we get is blue and spoiled, be it pork or beef. It's so it sticks to walls, hardtack's all we eat.
I thought the buzzards in the sky would think it was a treat.
They took all the and flew all night. Hardtack's all we eat. $2. Hardtack's all we eat. Captain, won't you bring some files, sharpen up our teeth? It takes so long to pulverize, to crush with rifle butts. We never use our knife, forks, and knives, and when it's time to sup,
To increase edibility, we soak them for a week. Still them crackers break my jaw. Hardtack's all we eat. $2. Hardtack's all we eat. Captain, won't you bring some files to sharpen up our teeth?
Well, we took the long way through the gap and made an old bull run. We lured the Yanks into a trap and they began to run.
Their hams and greens and taters, they made us quite a treat.
I'd love to see some Yankees now.
Hardtack's all we eat. $2. Hardtack's all we eat. Captain, won't you bring some files to sharpen up our teeth? $2. Hardtack's all we eat. Captain, won't you bring some files to sharpen up our teeth?
We sang quite a few songs that really kind of soldiers miss their home and stuff like this. And Robin and Linda Williams wrote this for their program. That I just have always thought this was a great tune. Anyway, Michael's gonna sing it for us, and it's called "Don't Let Me Come Home a Stranger."
walked out one evening to breathe the air and soothe my mind. I thought of friends and the home I had, and all the things I left behind. Oh, as silent stars shone around me, my eyes saw the far horizon, as if to pierce the veil of time and escape this earthly prison. Oh, will there come a time when the memories fade and pass on with the long, long years, when the time's no longer bind? Lord, save me from this darkest fear. Don't let me come home a stranger. I couldn't stand to be a stranger. In the place so far from home, they know my name, but they don't know me. They hear my voice and they see my face, but they can lay no claim on me. Oh, will there come a time when the memories fade and pass on with the long, long years, when the ties no longer bind? Lord, save me from this darkest fear. Don't let me come home a stranger. I couldn't stand to be a stranger. And as I walk this universe, I free my mind of time and space. I wander through the galaxy, but never do I find my place. Oh, will there come a time when the memories fade and pass on with the long, long years, when the ties no longer bind? Lord, save me from this darkest fear. Don't let me come home a stranger. I couldn't stand to be a stranger.
I'm gonna let Kenny talk about this next last. This is our last song coming up, and this would be. I'm not sure this is the way they would close their show, but there's a lot of you'll know that he was a very, very devout Christian man, Stonewall Jackson. And if you don't know, he had revivals in his camp grounds. He in Lexington. Kenny can probably tell you more about this. In Lexington, he basically, the only slave I know that he owned was one he bought because she had been separated from family and she was disabled, and so to get her out of a bad situation. But he kind of live in a crazy world. I say this all the time. It's our generation and our culture. We want to throw rocks at people like this and fast. We live in glass houses, in my opinion, in this culture we're in. We live in a big glass house with a lot of perversions out there, a lot of things that don't make sense, and we're glad to throw rocks at these guys that came from a very different time and what they were experiencing. But anyway, won't get into a whole lot. Kenny's going to explain this song to you, though, a little bit of the history of it, maybe, right?
Yeah. Johnny already alluded to the fact is that when Thomas Jonathan Jackson came from the Mexican War, he came back to VMI to be a professor of artillery and natural philosophy. What a great mix there is. In doing so, he also became a very avid educator, and he saw the need in that area to conduct a Sunday school program. And so he started with several slaves and several freedmen also that came, and again, this was against the law during those times, to actually have slaves gather together to learn to read and to write, particularly in an education field. But he did that. That was his love for these people. and his love for his God. And so the Sunday school class went from about 5 or 6 to over 100 people. And what the interesting part about this is that, again, he was so steeped in his faith that when the young men that were in his class became ministers later, and they actually started a church in Roanoke called the Fifth Avenue Presbyterian Church. It was an all-black church, but it certainly had its roots from the education and the sovereignty of God to start through Stonewall Jackson. And so when this church, after Stonewall Jackson died, again, this church put together a stained glass window. And in the stained glass window it says, "Let us cross over the river and rest in the shade of the trees." This was the last known, sentence that Stonewall Jackson said after he had been injured and was on his deathbed toward the end of his life. This was in 1863. He was only 41 years old and accomplished quite a bit. But that phrase was captured, again, for the fact of he saw the peace that was to come, and again, still the middle of the war that was still going on. So it's very interesting that that was his last looking across to his Lord, and also the rest that he needed there. So let us cross over the river.
Cross over the river and rest in the shade of the trees. I will guide her angels by with glorious ease. From misery and temptation, I'll be forever free. Let us cross over the river and rest in the shade of the trees. I know the end is coming, our shells return to sand. The time has come to cross over and take my Savior's hand. I have no fear, I am not sad, for God has blessed me, and open wide the door to my eternal destiny. In your delight I will repose, the balmy lands of peace, and suffering of friends and foes I'll no longer see. I leave the world surrounded by friends and kindred dear. I leave this world in victory, with sounds of battle near. Let us cross over the river and rest in the shade of the trees. I will abide where angels glide with glorious ease. From misery and temptation, I'll be forever free. Let us cross over the river and rest in the shade of the trees. Let us cross over the river and rest in the shade of the trees.
That does it for us. Thank you.